Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta. And you didn't point.
My hands are full.
Okay, fair enough. And we're back.
We are.
We've been gone a long time. Yeah, you were working and we were traveling and it was a whole thing.
Yeah, and now summer's over.
Sad.
It's Labor Day-ber.
Yeah, we are, though, out recording this outside in the sun.
To get the last gasps of summer.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
So you might hear some funny sounds.
Yeah, it's a little breezy and stuff, but it should be okay.
Dragonflies.
Yeah, actual flies.
Wasps.
Was that a wasp by my head?
Maybe.
Oh, that's neat. Anyway, how are you?
Tired.
Yeah, how come?
Busy.
How come?
Vacation.
Yeah.
But Disney vacation.
So not relaxing.
No relaxing allowed.
That's true. We were in Disney for a long time. This was the big long one that we did. And we're back, and now I'm getting ready to go back to work. And
You are back to work.
well, I am back to work. The students are showing up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What are you drinking before we get into anything
Beer.
else? Okay. What am I drinking?
Beer.
Okay.
Different kind of beer.
Am I drinking a Radler?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it tasted like, so it would have been weird if it wasn't.
Who put the grapefruit in my beer?
You are not drinking a Radler. You're drinking just a regular old beer.
It's a Kolsch. It's a cowboy Kolsch.
Nice.
Yeehaw.
That's a little summery.
Yeah. That's why I'm...
Kinda.
Yeah.
Do it while you can.
Yeah, I'm going to be cut off from beer here in a bit, so we finish off the beer.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're finishing off all that kind of stuff for you, and we're going to do some healthier options coming up.
Healthy. Oh.
I said healthier. I didn't say
okay.
healthy.
Okay.
And do you have a nerd thing or just tired?
Well, a new World of Warcraft expansion came out while we were away, unfortunately. But I've been playing that now that we're back. So, and yet I'm taking a break to do this. Oh, I must like you or something.
You must. And being outside. You like being outside.
That is true. It is still summer.
Barely. Do I know what my nerd thing is?
No.
Oh, okay.
A
A little awkward.
What is it?
We had a new Dreamlight Valley update while we were gone too.
Awkward.
And I have been doing that. I just finished the storyline for the DLC. So now I'm working on leveling up, and there's a star path. And anyway, it's Disney related. It's fun. I like it. We got Tiana and now Jafar. I currently have him trapped in a lamp, though. But yeah, so that's exciting.
That is what happens to him.
Yeah, exactly. His ego is his undoing.
That never happens.
No, never. This is like a one-off situation. And then of course school starting.
Yay.
Yeah. I missed the first day of teacher back. Took a personal day for that. Because of the traveling, and then so we got in late, and then I was at PD the next morning, and I've been setting up my classroom and all that fun stuff. Joy.
You're looking at me funny. Okay.
So we don't have any shows or anything going on right now. Our next show is going to be Agatha.
Yeah.
And
right away?
Yeah.
Couple weeks.
So we will, and of course we Acolyte's done. We have been promising an episode about the Acolyte, and then we left. So we'll just do it later.
It's not canceled like the show.
Yeah. Aww. But we can talk about that when we do
Yes.
this. Yeah, that'll probably be next episode, I think. So let's head to the news. Disney A News Update. Okay, so there's a bunch of news. It's impossible to basically go over all of it.
I don't even remember what we've talked about.
We talked about San Diego Comic-Con, and that is it. So, anything after that?
Right. Yeah, but
So, yeah, anything after that is just...
Well, they did have D23,
Yes.
which had a lot of news.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to top the Doctor Doom news out of San Diego, but I mean, there still
Not
definitely
as-
was.
Not as far as media news goes. But there was a lot more parks news at D23.
Yes, there was a lot of parks news. So I'd say like let's get to that in a second. I just want to mention that we did get a trailer though for the new Star Wars show coming out. What did you think of this?
Skeleton Crew.
Yes. What did you think of it?
I wasn't sure what to think about it before we saw the trailer. And now we know that it's basically the Goonies in space.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Which is good.
It's giving like even the opening shots and everything is very serious Goonies. So
Goonies / E.T.
Yeah.
Like whatever. That kind of kids going on an exploration type of adventure thing.
And I really liked some other moments from D23. They had Agatha and the Witches doing the Witches Road song, which was really cool. They had Patrick Warburton coming out and doing his intro spiel about that
Just
he does for Soren.
An updated version.
And they even found like the guys who were in it to come and
nice
do it.
job, pal.
Yeah. So that was really cool. We got some other trailers too. Skeleton Crew is really the one that stood out to me though, as like, because before I was kind of indifferent and then I was really excited for it. So yeah, but I'd say the biggest news would be the park stuff.
And they talked a little bit about the Mandalorian movie.
Oh, that is true. They did.
Which is, it was like unofficially announced, and this was like official announcement, I guess. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
I guess the other thing that there was like a little mock-up, not even a poster, but of Toy Story 5. And
yes, they did that. And
stuff like that.
Toy Story 5, Cars 4. No, I don't think it was Cars 4, but
no, but it was Frozen.
Frozen 3. Just all the sequels. Thanks Inside Out too for being so successful. Now it's gonna get millions of sequels, which is fine as long as they're good. Like the only two Toy Story sequels that exist are very good.
Yes, the two. Number 2 and 3. It's weird that they're gonna jump right to 5.
Yeah, maybe they're toys and they can't count.
Well, I was also thinking maybe they're like including all the shorts kind of in their thinking for, because they did have a lot of shorts featuring like Bonnie's Room and stuff, like the Forky one even. Maybe they're kind of treating all that as part 4.
And they did reconfirm that the Ironheart show is still happening.
Yes.
I was shocked to realize that they filmed it already, like back to back with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which was a long time ago now.
Right.
So the actors probably don't even remember what the show is about.
They've aged a lot since
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So, I'm not really sure in what order to do this in. I just kind of have a list here of like a bunch of news that came out of the panel.
News.
The park panel. So, like, let's just jump into that, basically.
Just a grocery list, I'm sure is fine. They can throw my nickel.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You can't throw 2 cents in anymore because pennies don't exist.
No, it has to be a whole nickel. Okay, so... a new Villains Land is coming to Magic Kingdom Hollywood Studios. We'll get a land inspired by Monsters, Inc., Indiana Jones, and Encanto. Rides are coming to Animal Kingdom and Avengers Campus, and DCA is set to double in size. Okay, so let's break this down. A new Villains Land is coming to Magic Kingdom. So this was like a meme for a while, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one of the most requested things. The villains are very popular, and they're very good character meet and greets. They're super fun, and like Halloween's very popular, which is villain focused, and the Universal next door is doing a whole dark universe land.
Yep.
So this is going to be Disney's competition with that.
It's going to be kind of the answer to it. So this is very exciting. People are, of course, immediately requesting a roller coaster with Yzma and Kronk because they have that pull the lever and then go on a roller coaster. And the original... They kind of have to. They kind of have to. They're like, it's the only thing that's there for you already. Like, come on. And then the other thing...
And don't make it a motion simulator either.
No, that's, I guess, the concern. And then to have, like, Maleficent's castle or something as a centerpiece. Of course, it depends. We don't really know how much space they have or where they're going to, like, the details and stuff, but it's got a lot of people talking.
It's Florida. They have lots of space.
True.
You know, I don't want to hear the space excuse. They just have endless space.
Let's stay in Florida. Hollywood Studios will get a land inspired by Monsters, Inc. This is interesting.
Monstropolis.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. Indiana Jones and Encanto rides are both coming to Animal Kingdom. This was blue skied last D23.
Well, they've wanted something with Encanto. There's been rumors for it for Disneyland, like the Treehouse or something, et cetera, and it was maybe kind of pitched for like the Beyond Big Thunder in Magic Kingdom.
Right. I think that was originally the idea, but I'm not sure.
But this way they're doing it in a different park, and the Indiana Jones thing is just retrofitting the dinosaur ride.
Yes, which actually follows very similar track system anyway.
It's the same ride system. Yeah. They'll just have a all new animatronics.
Rethemed,
it is gonna be different than the one in Disneyland though, like a different story apparently. So that's kind of cool.
That is cool. I like when you get a nod to or a similar thing but a different version of it. It makes it like familiar when you go visit those places, but also different, like worth going to those places. So that's really cool. The DCA, there was a lot of DCA news.
They're gonna make DCA a real boy.
That was funny. Okay, so first of all, Avatar is coming to DCA. We knew this already.
Yeah, we did.
But we got more information on it.
Kinda.
Well, we got that it's going to be based on The Way of Water, which we already kind of knew.
There's going to be a boat ride.
Yeah.
And it's going to DCA.
Yeah.
Probably not anywhere that's already in the park. It's going to be an expansion.
Yeah, they didn't say it was part of the new, like the new stuff that was just approved.
Disneyland Forward.
Yes, but
that's what you're thinking.
Yes, it is. Thank you. But it is. Of course,
it's not going to. The concept art is fairly significant, and there's no room to put that anywhere.
Even if you took down
the back lot,
which would be the
assumed place to. No, it's not.
No.
They're going to do something else with that, and I don't know what yet.
Yes.
But.
Well, and then we've got the big news would be Avengers Campus. We did get information about the big e-ticket ride that they have been promising since Avengers Campus opened. And
they've settled on it, like the third incarnation of it is going to be the final one, with it being King Thanos, and you're going through the multiverse to save things. And the vehicle, it looks like it might be like a motion simulator type of thing.
I'm sure it will be, because part of their whole thing is that there's different versions to ride.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. So you don't know much about this, but the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster has different versions, similar to the Tower of Terror reskin, where they have different songs and it plays different videos and stuff. I don't think that they have enough room to make it a full roller coaster, and the ride vehicles don't look like a full roller coaster. They look more like the Transformers ride in Universal.
Well, a lot of people liken them to the Spider-Man ride in Universal Florida.
Yeah, which is what the Transformers ride is based on. The Spider-Man one's better, so there's a scale there you can go between.
Right.
It could be more practical is the key.
Well, hopefully. But this is going to happen.
It's going to be the first thing of all this stuff that's going to actually be built. Like,
they're on their way with it.
They're going to break ground yesterday, basically. Like there was walls up in Cars Land, and no one knows for sure, but it's bordering right on Avengers Campus there, and I think it could be
very well
part of that project.
Yep, that makes sense. There's more about Avengers Campus, but first they did have a ride vehicle, like a physical ride vehicle there. So that's exciting. It wasn't just the mock-up, so I just wanted to, people could check it out and stuff. So they are actually on their way with this now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was hoping for something more thrilling.
More than not screen-based?
Yeah. Or like another trackless. Like I like Rise of the Resistance and I like Mickey's Runaway Railway, but they're not what I would call thrilling, really, right?
That's fair.
So
yeah, that's fair.
Disney needs more thrill rides.
Well, the other ride might be slightly more thrilling because it's you're sitting on an arm that's like putting you through the air. Because guess what? Avengers Campus is getting another attraction, and nobody saw this one coming. I don't think.
No, this was not on anyone's bingo card whatsoever. It looks like it's going to be kind of a flat ride. Probably more for kids because it's going to spin you around, and adults don't tend to like to be spun around.
But you are in the air, and the whole thing is it's like flight school.
Flight school,
like
Iron
Man.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't remember if it's called Iron Man's or Tony Stark's, but it's definitely like Stark Flight School. And
I think that's what it's called. Stark
Flight School. Yeah. Okay. And they had concept art for this, and yeah, it was a surprise. Again, small footprint, but another offering there in Avengers Campus.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about that.
I'm imagining, like, I don't think it fits with the concept art, but I think the Sanctum is going bye-bye. And
yeah, for sure.
That's like, because you're having 2 new rides in a small little land, you're going to have to figure something out, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's gone. That's why they shut it down.
Yeah, and we visited it while we were there.
Yeah, right now they're using it as a character meet and greet area when it's in the shade.
Yeah.
And that's only like for a quarter of the day, so it's not very useful. It still looks great and it like lights up
especially
at night still.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much a waste of space now, which is very sad.
It is because it's so cool.
It is cool.
And it's new-ish.
Quite new, yeah.
We did have another piece of news of something random coming to DCA again. This is probably part of the Disneyland Forward, and that is we have a Coco attraction coming.
Also a boat ride.
And yeah, this was again a surprise. Like basically people are like, oh, DCA is getting a lot of love. Not much announced for Disneyland itself, except we do have an opening date for Tiana's, which is going to be November 15th. That is the official opening date. All right. We have strong theories that you're going to have about probably 2 weeks?
Well,
prior
considering that humans have already been on it. Like the testing crew has been on it and stuff. They'll have a soft opening cast member previews and et cetera, as early as October.
Yeah. If it's not open to the public until November 15th, we're going to miss it by 2 days.
I would be willing to bet that we're not going to miss it, though.
I think you're probably right. Well, think about how they did it in Magic Kingdom. They had a soft opening for like a month almost.
Yeah, and it still didn't work, but this is round 2. So
yes, exactly.
Maybe it'll go a little better this time.
Did anything else stand up from D23 that we haven't really talked about? No news on Tomorrowland, of course.
No, the focus was definitely DCA. That's what you didn't mention on Disney World. To build the stuff they're doing in Magic Kingdom, they are bulldozing their version of Rivers of America.
Yeah, and they're putting in Cars area as well. Yes, that's right. And this has people have feelings about this.
Yeah, they do. I get it. Like, it would be different if they were doing it at Disneyland.
I agree.
And I did say that, like, they have unlimited space in Florida. Yes, but you still need...
You need to put in the right area.
Yeah, it needs to flow and everything like that. And I don't know. I don't think the Rivers of America is the best use of flow. Just the way Magic Kingdom's set up. It's kind of disjointed anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have the history that Disneyland does, so I don't know. I'm okay with it, but Disney World isn't my park, so do something cool there. At the park. Okay, we were in Disneyland, So we're just going to talk about our trip a little bit. It was a different kind of, well, it was a long time, first of all. It was the longest time we've been there as magic key holders. And we got to do some Halloween stuff, because apparently it's Halloween now.
It is Halloween now.
I don't know if you know this or not.
We didn't have that in the news, but now it is officially Halloween. It's still summer, but it's Halloween.
It's September 1st when we're recording this, so I think we're officially Halloween regardless.
Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of cool being there. When we first got there, there was almost no Halloween anything, anywhere.
It was like the first day we were there was nothing. And then the second day we were there, they had a little bit of banners up. And then every day they added a little bit more and a little bit more. So we got to see basically the whole thing go up.
The entire process. And we even went to the very first Oogie Boogie Bash of the year. And that was so cool. Okay. So we're just going to like talk. We're going to review it a little bit, highlights, and also talk about Oogie Boogie. Sound good?
I guess so. I'm just being told this now.
No, I said we're going to talk about the trip.
Oh, okay.
How long were we there?
A long time.
Good job.
My feet tell me this.
Have they recovered?
Mostly.
Mm-hmm. It's been a few days now.
Yeah. Yeah, the important thing the most important thing when you go on a Disney trip is to have good shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we did okay with that.
Yep.
But there's only so much you can do when you're walking 30 plus kilometers a day.
I also highly recommend, if you're going for more than a few days, having 2 pairs and switching off.
Yeah. No matter how good your shoes are, they rub in certain ways, and it helps to switch in between, and also plan rest days. Mm-hmm. It's important. Or
rest times within your days.
Or rest times. That can be a little more difficult, especially when the monorail's down.
Yes, that was our problem. Because when we first were talking about it, we're like, this might actually be the time we go to the pool in the middle. Monorail's down. Doesn't seem very appealing to walk more.
Yeah, walk more and then walk more and then walk more. We didn't have any full rest days because we had Magic Keys and we were able to get reservations every single day. It was not hard. The hardest was actually the day of Oogie Boogie. That was the last one we booked, and it was sold out for a while, and then some Disneyland did open, and we did kind of use it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. We just jumped in there first and then was able to do Park Hopper entrance as opposed to the Oogie Boogie entrance, which was crazy looking.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll get to Oogie Boogie in a minute.
Oogie Boogie, yeah. Just rest days are very important.
Yeah, we didn't take those. What about, we did make it to Universal.
Okay, yeah, let's do a little...
There's a bug here on me, sorry if I'm moving around.
You're just spazzing out.
Okay,
it's
there
just
we
a
go.
bug. Okay. So yeah, we did go to Universal one day, just to check out the new Super Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
It's very well themed.
I really like the theming. Yep.
But having been to Universal Orlando, the Hollywood one is not the best. And it was also really, really hot when we were there.
Yes.
And that's not a good place to be when it's hot. So I don't know. It was fine. I really liked Nintendo Land. We went to the Toadstool Cafe.
Yeah, that was a highlight actually for me.
And the food was quite good. Yeah, I don't know.
And it's the tram tour's 60th anniversary.
That's true. That was very cool. Food and stuff is cheaper there.
That's true.
We got the popcorn bucket for the 60th anniversary, which is what's making me think about it. And the popcorn bucket was huge and cool and lit up and has sound and everything. And it was $20 and included free refills on your popcorn
for your
all day. Whereas at Disney, a popcorn bucket is $35 and does not include refills at all.
No, you get your popcorn that time. And the popcorn is smaller that you first get too.
So yeah, it's a little bit different.
That being said, there's like no shade anywhere. They do have misters in a lot of places.
A lot of misters, and there is a big splash park.
Yes, which we made use of.
Which is quite nice, especially when it's smoking hot. That might be a tip to bring like water shoes or something to change into.
We let ourselves get entirely drenched. I actually got a bucket of water on me.
By accident.
Yes. But we did plan on getting wet going there. It didn't take any time to dry, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was a hot day.
And then
we had a few hot days.
We did. But that was, even if it wasn't the hottest, it felt the hottest, just because it's all concrete. You're in the sun, no shade, and there's a lot of people in like not a spread out way.
Yeah, and there's not as many attractions either. So even if it's not super duper busy, it's still. Lines for everything are quite long. The Mario Kart ride was basically 90 minutes plus all day. Yeah. We had early entry for Nintendo Land, so you pay extra and you can get in there an hour early, and we went straight to that, and it was a 20-minute lineup then was what it said, and basically you were kind of like moving the whole time.
Yes.
And then it broke down.
Yeah. So, because our plan was to get off and do it again right away before the line built up too much, but the breakdown
caused it to, it was...
By the time we got it was 90 minutes.
Yeah. So, we did get on it.
Yes.
It was fine. Not my favorite thing in the world. It's basically a dark ride with like a heads-up display that has a little game attached to it, and the game isn't. I wouldn't even say it's as fun as like Spider-Man or Midway Mania. It might be like on the same level as the original Astro Blasters.
And that was years ago.
And that was years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine, I guess.
The queue's the best part, I think.
The queue is wonderful.
The queue's amazing.
For sure. And
the theming of the land itself is great. It's very crowded in a very small area. We had intentions of getting the, I don't know what they're actually called, Magic Band.
Power-up band, I think, is what they call them.
And we never ended up doing it.
No.
And we were both okay with that.
Yeah, it would have been, you would have been standing in lines a lot to even try and use them, so
we were okay with that.
Yeah, maybe when we go back and it's not brand new anymore, even though it's not brand new, but it's still quite new.
Yeah.
It'll be more palatable to be there.
We Jurassic World is still my favorite attraction there. Rode that a couple times.
The
tram tour.
I'm still a little bit bummed that it's Jurassic World themed, but the updates are very good. I've fresh in my memory, they still have the Jurassic Park one in Florida, and as a as a comparison, the updates are needed. It just updated as Jurassic Park.
Agreed.
But the new animatronic, like the walking Indominus Rex, is like,
it's so good.
Universal does large scale animatronics very well.
They really do. Animatronics and characters.
Yeah, they're non-human large characters like the Raptors and the Transformers and stuff.
Disney.
Way better than Disney. Disney doesn't do very well with the large, the oversized. Baymax is probably their best one, but when they tried to do the Hulk, it was terrible.
Yeah, they need to figure something out with that one, because they should be capable of figuring that out.
You would think so.
But, so that was fun. Tram tour was fun. We did ride, pretty much everything. We skipped Transformers.
Yeah.
Mummy a few times, but even that, we were by the park closed early, and we were good with that.
It's definitely it's probably a half-day park if you're really on top of it.
Yeah.
And you just want to ride everything once.
Yeah.
You could do absolutely everything in half a day. It was closed at 7, and we just kind of forced ourselves to be there till 7 almost.
Because it was, we were like, well, I don't know, let's stay here and get some more popcorn and hang out.
Well, and you wait out rush hour because Uber takes longer and costs more if it's rush hour.
Exactly. So we hung out.
Yeah, we kind of hung out and ate popcorn and used our refillable drinks and
But we literally like sat around, and that was after riding the Mummy 3 times and Jurassic Park twice, and I think we did Harry Potter a couple times, and yeah, we did almost everything, and some things more than once. I really, really like Nintendo World. It's really small.
It is very small. Yeah.
So Universal, I agree. I was good with 1 day, less than 1 day, and then at least we got some pool time after that. Okay, Disneyland. First of all, what did you think of the crowds this time of year?
They were very uneven.
Yes.
It was really weird. Mm-hmm. It seemed very low when we first got there.
Yeah.
All that first weekend, we didn't get Genie Plus for the first few days, or Lightning Lane, or what, multi-pass.
Multi-pass.
And we didn't need it. Like, we did very well.
Oh, yes.
Without it, and that was fine. The reason we were okay with not getting it is because we're going to be there so long.
Yeah.
And my parents were meeting us there, and they had bought multi-pass with their 5-day park hopper ticket.
Right.
So we were going to get it every day that they were there.
So we could be with them.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah. So whatever. That was fine. And I don't know. The weekends were kind of very nice.
Yeah.
And then the midweek came, and it was very, very hot and very, very crowded.
Yes. Midweek is now the busy time.
Monday we were in Universal. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were packed.
Yep, it's crazy. But then again, we'll get to that. Our last day was a Tuesday, and we were at DCA, and it was dead because it was an Oogie Boogie Day.
Which was lovely.
So lovely.
Wonderful. It was an Oogie Boogie Day. It was an early entry for Disneyland for hotel guests. So the first 4 hours at DCA were...
Everything was walk-on.
Everything was walk-on.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Basically, the only lineup you had was cars, and if you went on single rider, it was still a walk-on.
Yeah. Which we did.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't and you were good to wait, it was still only 25 minutes posted or something
like
that
maybe
for cars.
Half an hour. Yeah,
it
was
crazy.
It was very interesting after having just had
incredibly busy days.
Incredibly busy days. But the busiest is going to be on Oogie Boogie Day after they let the Oogie Boogie ticket holders in. Because you can get in at 3 p.m. and the party starts at 6. So those 3 hours, you got regular day guests and Oogie Boogie party guests at the same time, and it was packed.
We didn't even ride anything.
We went at 3. Well, we went just before 3, and we were in the lineup, in the general admission lineup to get in, and the entire Esplanade was filled with. They had 10 entry gates ready for the special ticket entry only, and the whole entire Esplanade was full.
It was all the way to Disneyland.
Completely full, and there was people lined up at the Grand Californian as well, because that's where my parents came in with theirs, and I think that was actually shorter.
I think so too, yeah. So we were able, if you are in the park, you're able to get your Oogie Boogie. Do you want to talk Oogie Boogie now?
Yeah, let's do it. We're kind of rambling. But
we are, but that's okay. You're able to either get your Oogie Boogie stuff at the entrance if you only have Oogie Boogie tickets, and you can get in at 3. But if you can get in before, we even did 5 minutes before. I think we didn't even get in the park till 3. We just missed the big crowd.
Yeah, we were in slightly after 3, but the crowd to get in was still basically the entire Esplanade.
Totally.
We would have been there another half hour probably.
Yeah. So we were able to get in, and then they had kind of on the main walkway there between Radiator Springs and Avengers Campus, they had where you could pick up your.
It's
Oogie
where
Boogie
the
stuff
little
there.
Magic Key rest area is they had that set up as just a check-in place where they'd give you your trick-or-treat bag and your map and, and your wristband and all that stuff.
Speaking of the trick-or-treat bag, this was recommended to us before, and it's so important. Bring another bag if you're planning on doing any of the treat trails.
And that's one of the main things to do. Yeah, they give you a little tiny, the smallest bag imaginable, and it will it would be full on the first
It,
character treat trail you
we
go
literally
on.
did the first one, and I was like, cool, my bag's 3/4 full now.
Yeah.
But we came prepared.
So just the two of us, I think we ended up with like 15 pounds of candy.
Yeah, we should have actually weighed it.
And we did not try.
No, and we didn't do all the treat trails. We only did the character treat trails. Like, it was, and then the
and we
one
missed,
leaving.
and we didn't do the Big Hero 6 villain. So that was...
We didn't even do all the character treat trails. But if you want, I kind of like trick-or-treating.
It was fun. We don't get to trick-or-treat anymore because we're old. And it was nice. I don't know.
Yeah, it was fun, and you got to see some cool characters. We'll talk about the characters here in a minute, but overall, what was the vibe like at Oogie Boogie?
It was completely different than being in the park normally. People were just kind of happy to hang out.
Yeah.
And, the lines are shorter. That the rides aren't the focus.
Right.
For the most part, some people, I guess it is. I don't know, but there's stuff that you can only do during a party, mainly like the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're paying that money for the special ticketed event, you probably want to focus on the stuff you can only do then. I don't know. It was cool.
That's what I agree with.
It was really neat seeing most people were in some sort of costume, and
people watching was superb.
It was fantastic. They had a lot of characters out, not just the ones with treat trails.
Yep.
They had a few photo ops. The longest line we waited in was by accident. We thought it was a treat trail. It was the second stop of the evening, and I didn't do a ton of research, which is unlike me.
Yeah.
For Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
And it turned out fine. Like, we were able to get everything done that we wanted to.
Yeah.
But the big whoopsie of the evening was we waited in probably a 40-minute line for the Sanderson sisters,
Mickey, Minnie, and Clarabelle.
Not
Mickey, Minnie. Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Which was fine. And they had a PhotoPass person there, and PhotoPass is like, if you're not a Magic Key holder or whatever, PhotoPass is included with your ticket. So
it was a long lineup, but see, kind of what happened is we looked and it didn't look very long, and we're like, oh, these guys are really popular. Let's jump in this lineup. But then there were switchbacks. And
there were switchbacks, and it was a photo op.
Yeah. We thought it was more like a
treat
trail.
We had waited in line early for Oogie Boogie. And because we're like, oh, he's going to be popular, his lineup's going to be really long, and then it's a treat trail, and like and they just kind of like make you walk through it, and you get your treats, and then you walk by him and wave, and then keep going.
Yeah.
So it goes by really quick. Whereas the photo op, everyone stops and takes their photo, and that takes.
They have a whole interaction.
That takes time. And so we should have been waiting, if we wanted to, in a photo op early.
Right.
Not a treat trail. Treat trail's fast.
That's a good piece of advice. Yeah. Another one is we then got into a treat trail for Hades, which was one of the new characters. And by the time we got to the front, he was gone.
Well, he was gone the whole time. I think he was the only character that was like that. Because, of course, the cast members that are being these characters can't be out there for 6 hours straight. Not even an hour straight. They have strict time limits as part of their contract. And
which
like
is good.
Safety, especially the mascot-y ones, like safety.
And it was hot, especially to begin with.
Yeah, it was warm before the sun went down, for sure. And so they would switch out.
Yep.
Even like we were just getting ready to take our picture, and the Sanderson sisters
and we're
switched out. We're
what?
like, are you kidding me right now? But no, they came back. Like, it was like instant.
It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you wouldn't even, like, if you blinked, you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
But they apparently only had one Hades because he was gone for like half an hour, which I was not super happy about.
No, but I mean, I also get they need to take breaks.
Yeah, but have more than one.
Yeah.
Just like every other.
Yeah. Well, especially something like Ernesto de la Cruz would be harder to have another one of. And maybe that was excellent.
That was excellent, and maybe they did only have one of him, but
We didn't
I
notice
didn't
that because
notice.
we were there for that.
I don't know.
Because he sings, so I'm like, that has to be harder to like.
Yeah, you need someone
have
who can
more cast
sing.
Members.
You need someone who can sing.
Yeah.
Whereas Hades, you just need someone who can
be sarcastic.
Be angry,
sassy,
Lord of the
Underworld.
Yeah, exactly.
We did go back. You and I went back after to see if Hades was there again, and he was. We were all excited. We did the treat trail again because, of course, we did. So more candy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the only way you can get in there. But
yeah.
So that was the only duplicate treat trail we did, and we did get to see Hades, and that he's a lot of people's favorite from what I've noticed, and I thought he was underwhelming, and
I thought so too. Maybe because I was so excited.
It was a combination of him not being there the first time we tried, and it being like near the end of the night the second time, and I think he was kind of done with it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think had he been there earlier when we were there before, I bet he would have been more interactive, where he was just kind of like hanging out.
He's like,
Yeah, he seemed more subdued than I was expecting, especially for Hades as a character.
Yeah.
He's a great villain. I enjoy him as a villain, but yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed by him. Again, it might have been that I was so excited to see him. I was very excited to see Oogie Boogie. I was glad we did that right away. Like you said, we did all of the villains except the Big Hero 6 one, which we were okay with. He would have been my least favorite choice anyway. And then it got to be the end of the night, and we noticed Monsters After Dark had a 13-minute wait.
It was just the tail end of the second parade.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the parade in a minute. So we went and we jumped on that, and we actually rode that one twice. And we kind of decided to do that instead of the last tree trail, and that fit perfectly. I was very happy to do that. Hope you were too, because that's what we did.
That's my favorite ride. So
yeah,
and I do like the Halloween version of it. I mean, I would prefer the original.
Right, but it's fun to have both.
It's fun to have both, and it's easy for them to convert it. I almost think that should be a year-round thing, where it's after dark,
yeah.
it's the because it's not really Halloween themed. It's just a sequel to the ride, basically. The idea is that you come back after you've let everything out, and there's monsters everywhere, and Groot is missing, so you got to go save Groot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really fun. I don't know, the drop sequence is the best.
Crazy.
It's the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the music suits it well. It's like more metal. That's not like my favorite type of music, but it really suits the attraction well. I think I agree. Have it all year, but instead of starting at what does it start at 3?
3, yeah.
Start it at 6 p.m. and then run it all year.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Actually, after dark then, too,
and
right?
the interesting thing about it is it counts as a completely separate attraction. You can actually get a lightning lane for the daytime one and the nighttime one.
Which we did.
We did once,
yeah.
but you have to be on top of it, because of course that is the most popular lightning lane attraction in the entire park.
Yes.
And with only up to 3 p.m. it sells out. The regular version sells out very quickly.
That's what I'm saying, till 6 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we rode that instead of seeing the Big Hero 6 villain, which I was very okay with him. I was very on the Big Hero 6
I love
villain.
Big Hero 6.
The villain
it's
is
not because of the villain.
No, and I actually don't mind him in the story, like his motivations and stuff.
Yeah,
but as a villain,
it's very bland.
I'm convinced they only have him because they have an area for him to go in.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, let's talk some of the other villains. The other, we did have another. Hades was one of the new ones, and then the other new one was Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb, which some people might not know. I don't know. It's a cartoon, and
he was in the Playhouse Disney area, which actually is a great, it suits that very well.
Yeah, I mean, they use that for a character every year.
Yeah, but I'm saying that one specifically suits that well, because
it doesn't really,
he's like a Disney Channel villain.
Yeah, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. They would make up the set
of course,
to look like
but
whatever.
We do know Phineas and Ferb, and he's another villain that's only kind of a villain.
It's a kid's cartoon show, and I don't know, he's hilarious. So.
He is, and the pictures itself, I was like, ugh. But seeing him in person, he actually looked a lot better than I was expecting.
Well, he's a weird. I'm opening a new beer because it's hot outside.
Fair enough.
He's a
cartoon.
He's a cartoon character, so features are exaggerated.
Yeah, he's got the pointy head,
and they kind of made it comic book accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, the pictures looked really weird, but in person I thought it looked
great.
I liked him better than Jack Skellington
I think I did too. We did meet him in not Oogie Boogie, obviously, but we did meet him at Disneyland. I was very happy that we did that.
Yeah,
I didn't think we were gonna.
I'm not a big fan of his headpiece.
Yeah,
it's the wrong shape.
It's
like oblong instead of.
They have like the skull over top of it, and then they still have his like mouth.
So he can talk.
Yeah,
but
I get it, and like I did like it better in person than I've seen it in pictures. But I agree. I think Doofenshmirtz, they did better with that. It might be harder to do with Jack because of the face shape. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, and I don't know how popular Doofenshmirtz was. Maybe because like a kids' cartoon that's not as well known. Although Phineas and Ferb gets its, like you see people in Perry the Platypus gear all the time.
Totally, I have a Perry the Platypus shirt.
Yeah.
No, dress.
And that was cool. But I had a nice interaction with him because he was like puttering around, and it was near the end of the night again, and
we did right after Hades actually.
Yeah, and so like there wasn't a ton of people there, and no one was being all that enthusiastic. So I like said something to him, and he turned around and he saw I was dressed like Loki, and we were talking about being evil and stuff, and it was.
So that's how you're gonna take over the greater tri-state area.
So that was fun.
That was fun. That was a good interaction, and you also had a really good. I had a good interaction, but not with who I wanted to have a good interaction with. But you had a good interaction. You actually saw Loki before the whole thing started, and then you saw Varian Loki.
Yeah, I got
wandering around during.
I got 2 meet and greets with different Lokis, while dressed as.
It was great.
President Loki, and that made it worth it for me. I think in general.
Before the whole thing started, you're like, it would be great if we could run into Loki, but that's hit or miss, right? And then we walked. We were sitting in Pim's having a beer, and then we walked out of Pim's, and Loki was just walking by. So I was like, oh, okay. And now I wish for $1 million.
Yeah, yeah. So that worked out. Like we were literally going to go see Doctor Strange.
Yeah. He
was in the sanctum doing pictures, but his pictures time was cut off, so we left, and there was Loki, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. And then when we went back during Oogie Boogie to go see Agatha, because I was dressed as I was a Sokovian fortune teller. So I was dressed as comic book Scarlet Witch, and so Agatha was high on my list anyway, but especially because of how I was dressed. And then Variant Loki was just hanging out. So we're like, well, okay then. And he was just wandering.
No, he was he had a lineup, and it was like a photo.
But he wasn't a treat trail.
No, he just was hanging out by the seating area where the Dora Milaje do their training stuff, but there was a lineup. He wasn't just like walking.
No, sorry. Yeah, I just meant that it wasn't a treat trail.
Right.
The other one who wasn't a treat trail that we saw was Captain America, and I gotta say I was disappointed. It was Steve Rogers' Captain America, which is usually not the one that's around anymore.
You see him
but sometimes.
Yeah.
Sam is just more common, I think, now. But I was disappointed because I was hoping for Zombie.
Yeah, that would.
They've had him before, and
I did.
When I saw him from the back first, and I went, oh.
No. I would have lined up for Zombie.
I would have too. Yeah. I would have too. Agatha, I did not. I really liked seeing Agatha, and she was great, and I dropped the ball. You were a little shy. I was a little shy and a little quiet. You said that you could barely hear me. Yeah. And I don't think she could, almost at all. But it was still really cool to see her. I know a lot of people have comments about her outfit this year, because it's not the robes from WandaVision, it's her outfit from the new Agatha Harkness show coming. Yeah, it's more like house matron style dress, rather than like the full-on witch's robe. Yeah, and I mean, I get that, but I still liked what she was wearing. But I do also like her and Lady Tremaine could go out on a girls' night while she's wearing that, and it would be perfect. Fit right in. Sid was an excellent character interaction. Sid is interesting because it's like mean. It's like the easiest costume. You just need some fake braces and a skull t-shirt and jeans, and then you're there. Yeah. But he just spends the entire time absolutely roasting people. It was me. Everyone. Just like
roast, like, some of the villains are kind of mean, but whatever. No, he's roasting people the whole time.
Flat out mean. If he sees someone with a Skull t-shirt, he makes everyone stop and point at them and call him a copycat.
Yeah, chant copycat. Yeah, it's like you can't get it in his good books. Like,
no, there's nothing you can do. He's got something to say about almost everyone. For me, because again, how I was dressed, it was like, shouldn't I be out looking for children somewhere? I was like, is he insulting my sons that are gone?
Yeah.
And then was making jokes about how I lost my vision. It was mean. He was mean.
He was mean.
But he was really funny.
Like, a good kind of mean.
Yeah, no, it was
perfect.
Really good. Like, he suited it really well.
And then right beside him was Lotso, which we didn't wait for.
We didn't, but
that was like more like a photo op meet and greet type of thing.
And
that's a very rare character.
And we did see quite a few people were lined up for him.
Yeah.
One that we walked by, only a few people were lined up, was, again, not a treat trail, just a meet and greet, was Bruno. And I was like, oh man, we were kind of rushing somewhere at the time. And I was like, if we hadn't been, I would have jumped in the Bruno line.
You're not supposed to talk about him.
Oh, sorry. sorry. No, movie's over. We can talk about him. There was a verse about that in the last song.
We've learned to become better people now.
We're all better people.
Except he's still considered a villain because he's showing up at Halloween where it's only
I don't
villains.
know. Captain America was around too,
That's
right?
true.
Like,
that's
that doesn't
true.
make any sense.
Avengers Campus is its own
own entity. Yeah. I don't think he's a villain. He's just like a mysterious character, right? And then the other really good one that I found was Judge Doom.
Yeah, he was great.
I was very excited for him and did not disappoint.
He was new last year, and they had a very similar setup this year. Of course, it was our first and only time. But this year he was going all in on Splash Mountain jokes.
Yes. I was like, wow.
like quite vicious Splash Mountain jokes.
Really mean.
And how he was going to dip all the inappropriate cartoons and things like that. It was pretty funny.
It was really good,
and then we
actually.
actually happened to be at him right when the fireworks were going off, and he got mad at the fireworks and said, "Stupid mouse always making too much noise," which was also hilarious.
It was. And he kept humming Zippity Doodah, except he kept going Dippity Doodah.
Dippity Doodah, yeah.
No, he was really good. I was like, I'd go through him again just to hear him keep talking, honestly.
And then before we get to the parade, the other main attraction is
Villains Grove.
The Villains Grove, which is very cool. They do the whole Redwood Creek Challenge. They rope off all the branching paths, and it's like a set way to go through.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't have any candy in there. It seemed like
even at the entrance and exit.
You could have had some candy in there. I don't know.
Not that we needed more candy.
No, but I don't know. Whatever. It was very cool. It was like a lot of lighting effects and sounds and
we even had some smellitzers.
And yeah, there was smellitzers. Yeah, that's right.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Very was a highlight for me.
Very atmospheric.
This one did not. This one was one I was really something I was really looking forward to, and it didn't disappoint at all. We timed it right. We waited until just before the second. So we watched the first parade, which we'll talk about why we did, and then our experiences with that. And we waited because this was a bit of research I did. Was that it was recommended you do it during the second parade.
So your research indicated that you should watch the first parade because you're most likely to see the headless horseman.
Sometimes the horse doesn't come out for the second parade.
Everything I've seen since says watch the second parade.
Okay, well, so I had seen that people like the second parade because it's darker and whatever, but if you want to be guaranteed to see the headless horseman, you watch the first parade.
And the other tip about the parade, go see it in like the Pixar boardwalk area where it starts, not at the end.
Yeah.
We were at the far. Well, we kind of. This is where we messed up. We should have gone deep into the park and come back.
Yeah.
We started at Oogie Boogie and we're like kind of hanging out in the like Hollywood area, which was probably the busiest area
because everyone else was doing that.
And then we sat and waited for the parade. Like, it was supposed to go at 7:45,
something like that,
and we found a spot at like 7:43, and I'm like, oh, this will be great. Like, we won't wait very long.
Perfect.
And it'll start, and like, this is a good spot, and whatever. And waited about 10 minutes, and then the horseman came. And I'm like, okay, here it's coming, and that was very cool. He had Ichabod in front of him,
good.
and like
that was really cool.
Big, beautiful horse, like gorgeous, like black Clydesdale, basically.
And we're big fans of horsemen stuff, like really cool.
Well, I like big horses. I like Clydesdales, and this is like pure black.
Oh yeah,
like
just gorgeous.
I don't know where you can find a horse that looks like must cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know.
It costs Disney money.
Yeah, and to be trained so well to like have someone in full costume that can't really see riding, like
while you're following someone who's making like noises with a lantern and stuff like that.
And that's fine. And then we knew that there was going to be some separation because like the parade's very loud. They play loud music, and
they say about 10 minutes is what the information
you
said.
don't want to spook the horse and everything. That's fine. We waited like another half an hour for the parade to come,
and
I was
10 minutes.
I was getting a little upset. Like you have limited time there. And it took a long time. And then the parade itself was kind of short. It was cool. You got like,
it was very cool. I really liked
the floats were cool, and the villains were cool. Like Ursula had like a full thing, and she was going around.
Yeah,
and, like,
it was very cool. And I love the Haunted Mansion.
I really liked the Gravedigger dancers. They like had real shovels, and they had a whole choreography routine, including like scraping their shovels along the ground.
Spark it up.
And there was actual sparks. Like
so cool.
Really, really cool. Really cool parade. Kind of short when it's like a 5-minute parade after waiting like 40 minutes for the whole thing. And you're kind of limited. That's why I would say if you were closer to the beginning, you wouldn't be waiting so long.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
And that would be better. And I think it's probably worth the risk to do the second one. Maybe.
I don't know.
Just make sure you're using like which one you don't see, using that time well, because everything else, the lines go way down.
The one thing is, though, had we done the second one, Villains Grove is better in the really, really dark.
Right.
Which is
true.
That worked out well for us. And there was very little lineup in comparison to when we walked by 15 minutes before that. It was very lined up.
It was like hardly a lineup at all.
We like walked past, went to Judge Doom, came back, and the line was less than a quarter of what it was before that because everyone went to the parade.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at the order we did. I was annoyed at the location we were in because for the same reason.
As magic key holders, there was a special magic key holder. It was a full treat trail and photo op, which was weird.
I thought it was just a photo op, but a whole treat trail.
Yeah, a bunch more candy. And
thank goodness, because we only had 15 pounds.
And the theme of it, like, it wasn't a magic photo. I thought it was going to be, but no, it just had a backdrop, and then you had like a little placard thing, and it was Hades themed, and you got a Hades patch with it, which was cool. And I think those pictures turned out really good.
They did.
I think a lot of our pictures turned out really well.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite part of the whole trip?
The whole trip. I liked being there for Halloween, actually. Like, I know that isn't just one specific thing. I'm a seasonal girly, I guess they'd say. And I've always wanted to be there for Halloween. And it was really cool, specifically seeing the transition into Halloween.
That was fun, yeah. Like, they had, like, flowers up where they put the pumpkin and where they put the horseman statue in each park. Like, it was not ready to go, and we saw them take those down and it be empty.
And then the one day we came and the Mickey had a mask on, and then the next day we came and there were more banners up, and then it was cool every day.
And the bats were in the belfry, and all sorts of things. It was fun watching that go up.
Yeah.
They do a very, very good job for Halloween.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. We had some of the Halloween-ish type food, not tons. We did do a lot.
I think we did
well for how the limited number of days over Halloween that we were there. Also, because we were there with your parents during this part where Halloween was, we were making a special point to do more, sit down, but more dining reservations. To get to experience some of those things. For example, we had never eaten at Carnation Cafe before.
And that was a highlight. And I actually had a Halloween, the spicy chicken sandwich there.
I had a Halloween drink because I had my dill pickle lemonade. They did with vodka there for Halloween.
Yeah. So, no, Carnation Cafe was great.
But we had more of those kinds of things. So we had fewer, we didn't have any of the like Halloween churros or something.
Yeah,
like
we actually didn't have any churros,
Nope.
but I did have 2 corn dogs, and I had never had a Disney corn dog before, and
Now you like corn dogs.
I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Or maybe just Disney corn dogs.
And you had the special Halloween
I had the special
corn
Halloween
dog,
one,
so there you go.
which was cheese and the sausage, and then with blackberry sauce and jalapenos on it. It was delicious. And then we had a couple of the drinks and things. So like, it was just fun going into Halloween season.
Yeah, and I liked being there a long time. I wish we had a little bit more rest.
Yes,
time.
had the monorail been there, I think we would have made much more. Because you don't really want to take a whole day.
I enjoyed showing my parents around as well, and hopefully we didn't tire them out too badly. And I really liked riding Big Thunder with my dad.
Yeah,
so
that was
probably
really
my favorite
fun.
part.
That was really fun, and we did it quite a few times.
Yeah.
I haven't done a ride. I keep track of the rides we do every day. I haven't done a ride tally, but I have a sneaky suspicion Big Thunder's going to be out on top.
Really high up there. Yeah. Guardians much lower than our typical, because most of the time we were there, a whole tower was down.
Which has been down for a long time.
The whole shaft was down, but
However,
it opened the first day of Halloween. It opened, so
Yep.
then it was a little better. It's crazy how much that impacts.
Oh my gosh,
Wow,
crazy.
A third.
Yeah.
Thirding your capacity
Yep.
makes the line build up real fast.
Sure does. It was really cool showing your parents around. I do agree. Like, it was tough. We didn't really want to take any rest days because, like you said, we have our passes and we want to use the passes.
And they had their 5-day park hopper, so you can't have a.
No.
They had their rest day was Oogie Boogie day, because of course they didn't have a ticket for that day because that would be silly.
Yes.
They just had their Oogie Boogie ticket, and so they had a nice brunch on their own and whatever. So,
but in my ideal world, when we were going to be there that long, is we would have had a couple days where we went and did, like, you still wanted to do rope drop most of the time. We'd go do rope drop, jump on the monorail, come back, relax, swim, and then go back again. I thought we would do that a few times. With no monorail running,
it makes it a little
that
tougher.
Put it a pretty big kibosh on that.
Yeah.
We did that the day your parents were coming because we had storytellers booked, and so we went and we did rope drop.
And that was also like one of the hottest days.
Yes.
And it was also very crowded.
And so we were very happy to do that.
It was very easy to leave that day. Like, I looked at the lineups, everything was half an hour, including Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's like 35 degrees. I'm going to go in the pool and drink a beer.
Sounds great. That sounds great. So that worked out really nicely. And then we went and did Storytellers, and you got a virtual queue for Haunted Mansion. So after Storytellers, you and I ran to Haunted Mansion. We did Haunted Mansion Pirates, and then went back to the hotel. That was actually a really nice day.
It was a good day. And what else? Magic bands. They don't make them very well. We lost a couple, so...
Not you and I.
Yeah.
We have ours.
Yeah.
Which we actually, ours were bought the day that they came out because my mom and sister were in Disneyland the day Magic Bands came out, and
in Disneyland.
In Disneyland, they've been in Disney World for a long time.
And even the Plus version that is what Disneyland has was out in Florida first as well.
So they went and they got them. I think they're from my sister for Christmas that year. And she just held on to them because she knew that was when we were going at New Year's, and so we still have the same Magic Bands. But yes, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, they're interesting. They're like a watch, and they have little holes to affix like a watch would, but instead of having a clasp that goes through it, it's just a little pokey thing.
Technical term.
Like there's little knobs that go into the thing, and then it's open other than that. And I have done this myself, and I rub it against your leg and it'll pop open.
Yes.
And it happened a couple times and didn't notice till later, and they're gone.
Yep, that's right.
So if you're getting a Magic Band, be careful. We actually have seen on Amazon you can buy a little strap that'll go around it and keep it on there. That might be an idea.
Honestly, if you're there and you're like, oh man, I don't have one of those, use an elastic band.
Yeah, like a hair tie or something might be a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest. If so
a bit of a bummer, but I don't know, will write a strongly worded letter to their board of tourism.
I think your mom already did one.
Yeah. Wow.
Write another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is something to be aware of and just always be cautious of and kind of be checking on and things as it goes. But did we get any weird, cool merch or anything like that?
You bought all of the Oogie Boogie merch. All of it.
We didn't buy the Spirit jersey.
Oh.
One thing.
Hooray. I'm glad to see you're practicing mindful.
Very responsible, very demure.
Yes, exactly.
I got the backpack and I got the ears and you got a hoodie and we got a t-shirt and a long sleeve shirt. The t-shirt was the Magic Key exclusive.
No, the long sleeve shirt was the Magic Key exclusive. The t-shirt was just the t-shirt.
The other way around.
No, it's the other way around. Guarantee you, because we wouldn't have bought the long sleeve one. I like the t-shirt better. The long sleeve one has Magic Key written on the back.
Okay.
I'll bet you $1 million.
No, I believe you. There was also a cup that we didn't buy.
You bought all the Oogie Boogie merch except the Spirit jersey.
Yes. And
Apparently.
we got a Haunted Mansion sipper.
A functioning Hatbox Ghost sipper, which was great. And you got a Poison Apple mug.
I did. That was from Red Rose Tavern.
That isn't really for drinking out of,
Apparently.
that we discovered, because it came with
Tater tots?
tater tots.
It's a mug. It's called a mug. It's a mug. Tater tots were good, though.
And you got a zero straw clip.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be like a backpack clip.
Yes. It's already attached to my my Nightmare Before Christmas bag. And we didn't say, but at Universal, when we ate at the Toadstool Cafe, you got the Bowser plate.
Yeah, so I had the Bowser's Revenge or Bowser's Fury or whatever it is, which was a spicy meatball. It's a spicy meatball.
It is.
And it was quite spicy.
Yeah.
It was delicious. I loved it, and it also came with buffalo sauce to drizzle on top. Like if it had spice in it, and then anyway, really good. I'm glad that we left the park early.
And then the
my
next day
stomach
was our easier day.
My stomach didn't feel so great.
Yeah, and the next day was the easier day.
So there you go. I love spicy food. Sometimes it doesn't like me so much, but that
and
was,
you even said, you're like, this isn't going to go
I'm
well.
making a mistake right now as I'm drizzling the buffalo sauce all over it and happily eating it all up. No, Toadstool Cafe was very good, and you got the mushroom soup bowl.
Yes, I did. That was the other thing that we got there. Yeah, and it's super cute.
It is very, very cute.
I had tomato soup in the mushroom soup bowl because they were out of mushroom soup. That was my intent to get the mushroom.
Yeah, you had some mushrooms in
I had
my
the mushrooms
meatball.
from your meatball instead.
There was mushrooms in the meat. Like they have mushrooms in almost all the food there. But like they were actually pretty good mushrooms.
Yeah.
I don't like mushrooms very much, but
I do.
when it's spicy sauce, it doesn't matter.
And the tomato soup was really good. I just was intending to have mushroom, that's all. But it was really good. So can recommend. Mushroom bowl is also really cute.
So I don't know. What do you say? Was it a successful trip?
Very successful. Very happy.
Are you done going to Disney now?
Nope. Which is good because we have another trip planned.
Yeah, I'll be excited when we get there. I'm a little Disneyed out at the moment. Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
We did briefly talk about going during Canadian Thanksgiving and decided
Thank
not
goodness.
to. And I was gonna say I'm okay with that. I will say that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, it was a lot. My
Your body's
my
like,
body
ow.
is like no. I'm actually pleasantly surprised as to how well I did hold up.
Yeah.
Because like we were up at 6 a.m. every single morning, even our rest day, because we rope dropped every day, and I think the only time we slept in was the morning of Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, because we didn't go till later.
We didn't go till later
Yeah.
because I was like, my energy was like completely depleted then, and if we had gone to rope drop, because like that's what kind of we were planning to maybe do rope drop, come back and change, and then go for the start. Instead, we just kind of went a little bit early.
Yeah, and that worked really well, I think.
Yeah, we could have maybe been like even 10 minutes earlier and we missed more of the crowd, but
it worked out fine.
It was fine. Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah.
I was really, really tired, and then we had flight delays on the way home.
That was a lot.
And had to work the next day, so like...
I was okay until the flight delays and stuff happened.
I actually, thank goodness you had your alarm set, because I literally slept through my alarm.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good thing I did. I didn't know that.
Wow, it was like 2.5 hours or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, and then you drove home.
I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah, you drove home, and I was like, I should stay awake and keep you company. You're like, no, you shouldn't. You should go to sleep. And I went, all right. I went to sleep immediately.
And I managed to not kill us
driving
home.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Near thing.
A couple times?
Oh,
but, I'm glad you didn't. Yeah. But, thank you for driving. And we got home, and then I got in the vehicle and drove to PD the next day. And it's kind of been hitting the ground running. So, it was, the flight delays kind of really affected everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, because our flight on the way there was perfectly on time.
Which never happened, to the minute.
And if I was picking, it would be the other way around.
Me too.
I mean, it was nice getting an on-time flight for once.
But I'd rather
have it on the way home.
Yeah.
Like, every minute you're delayed on the way home was a minute of less sleep.
Yeah. And it's just too bad that really colored the end of our trip, because we had a really good day before that.
Yeah, it was fine. And the good news is, November, our next trip, the flight does not leave so late. So if it's delayed, we're not losing sleep.
And we're carry-on only next trip.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It took forever to get our bags. The fun of travel, hey?
It's true, but that is another thing. That's a reality. And when I saw my principal later, he was like, "Oh my gosh, that's gross." And I said, "Yeah, but it is like the ultimate first world problem."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm tired from all the traveling I've been doing.
Yeah, I was a little annoyed at the company, but I specifically did not take it out on any of the employees, because it's not their fault.
Exactly. No, we're good about that, and we totally understand that too. Anything else to add? It was a really good trip.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I was doing a little walking yesterday, and my feet were kind of mad at me, but other than that, they're feeling okay.
Yeah, I think mine are mostly recovered.
Mm-hmm. We went for pedicures. That helped.
I will give a shout out. I took my 2 newish, I did break them in before, pairs of Vessies. We're not sponsored.
Hint, hint.
But they are very good. Very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Walking all that time, I did get a couple of little blisters, but
they're fine.
They were fine.
If you can,
all things considered,
live up to us at Disney, that's high praise.
Yeah, they are waterproof. The only problem with waterproof shoes is the hole in the top where your ankle goes is not waterproof, and if you're on a water ride and the water comes in through the top,
maybe if you ride it 3 times in a row,
then the water doesn't come out, because it's waterproof the other way as well.
Grizzly River Run 3 times in a row, you literally dumped out the shoe afterwards.
Yeah, I scared a lot of people, because like it was probably like 500 milliliters of water coming out of my shoe.
But you actually so I know we're wrapping up here, but there's a good tip for this, because after that you took your socks off and the soles off, put your shoe back on. They're really particular about people not taking their shoes off on this ride. Some people do or try to, and it's
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But
it's a safety thing.
It is, and they have the free lockers, and we usually made use of the free lockers. And you remembered most times after that, take off the socks, take off the insoles of the shoes,
and then no matter how wet you get, you can
they dry out very
dump
quickly.
it out, dry it out really quick, and then your socks aren't sopping
exactly.
wet.
So there's a really good tip for you there. Excellent trip. Thank you for taking me. I liked singing my song.
I was steering the ship there most of the time. Yes,
appreciate it.
But that's fine.
I sing "Small World" in my head and follow.
Yeah.
So that is our show this week. Thank you, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work at our website, disneya.wixsite.com/podcast. It's also where you can find a link to our social media accounts and our email. You can find Disney A episodes on all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms and on our YouTube channel, Adventures A. If you've rated or reviewed us, thank you. And if you haven't, please do. Especially because we have a bunch of Halloween stuff coming up.
It is spooky season officially now.
We're gonna
Mickey
talk.
Mickey told me so.
Mickey told me so, and Mickey doesn't like. That's why I said you asked if we could start watching scary movies, and I said if Disney says it's Halloween, it is Halloween. So there you go. So we always have fun doing the spooky stuff. So
that's my favorite.
Next episode, we are gonna talk about Acolyte. Hey, it counts. There's witches in it.
There is.
Yeah, it counts as spooky.
Space witches.
So we're finally going to talk about Acolyte, and of course we'll be talking
about just Acolyte and Star Wars
in general.
I think it's going to be an interesting conversation.
I think so too. Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I think we've done that before, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah, we are, but this time with Acolyte as a specific center of the conversation, as a good example of. So I'm Krysta.
I'm Brandon.
And until the next adventure, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney, eh?
They're going to make DCA a real boy.
That was funny.